All right, so before we get into this mailbag, I have things to say about this game that I watched. I watched a game last night. I had a vested interest in it. I bet on it. I bet the Utah Jazz to cover 6.5 points over the Portland Trail Blazers. Seemed like maybe a risky bet. Who knows? These young guns, they can come out, they score, they're trying too hard. Utah comes out slow. Utah's one of the worst teams in the NBA at covering the number in the first quarter. Yada, 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 yada. But I swear to you, it was on only for this reason, but thank God I watched something historic. Historic. I have never, ever seen in my life a team that has been in the playoffs for as many years as Portland has roll out a roster of guys that on any other team, all of them except for Josh Hart, would never see the court. These are starters on a team that would never even play. Even in the final minutes, they'd never get run. Like, this is a team that summer league rosters might not play. I've never seen anything like something like this in my life. I'd say it was a marvelous, spectacular display of mediocrity, but it wasn't. It was way worse than mediocrity. It was like, to me, watching Equinox basketball at the gym on a Sunday morning when you know everyone went out the night before, they're sluggish, nothing goes in. And when I'm saying nothing goes in, I'm not a shred of hyperbole there. Not a shred. Every time a Blazer shot the ball, and somewhat the Jazz as well, every time one of these quote-unquote Blazers, I'm not even going to really call them Blazers because there's just no shot they're on the team next year. They're guys you've never even heard of, which we'll get into in a second. But every time they shot the ball, I knew with 100% certainty that's not going in. Nope. I kept saying, nope. Watch this. Watch this. I mean, you're talking about not just airball jumpers that were wide open. You're talking airball dunks. You're talking 4, 5, air-mailed layups in a row from one team. Like, things I've never seen professionally before. Uncontested. Do you know how hard it is to airball a dunk that's uncontested when your hands are right there near the rim and the ball never even touches the rim? That seems like a physics. I don't know. I don't know where I'm living. Layups, it was like saran wrap was on the rim. I came to the realization that this is probably the worst NBA team to ever be rolled out on a roster in history. Like the 1961, koozies, like they would rip up this team. Rip them. Portland scored. Let me just tell you, and these names that they were rolling out there, names that don't even sound real. Keljin Blevins, made up name. Elijah Hughes, Drew Eubanks. Come on now. Welcome to the Drew Eubanks Show. It is time for a special occasion. These are guys playing for my Trailblazers. Guys, it's just Josh Hart and a bunch of homies. It took the Blazers 7 minutes. 7 minutes of basketball to score 2 baskets in the first quarter. Portland scored their first bucket at the 9:23 mark. It took them 3 minutes to score 1 bucket, and then they didn't score another basket until the 6:41 mark. It took a half a quarter. They had a half a quarter, and they had 4 points. They missed 11 of their first 12 shots, like open ones, too. Open ones, transition ones. 4 layups in a row. Utah also was horrible shooting, and they were up 33-15 at the end of the first quarter. The first 6 minutes of the first quarter, the worst basketball easily I've ever seen in my entire life. The two teams were something like 3 for 27. 3 for 27. I watched every shot, and I said, I must discuss this. This is a segment. I know that you probably weren't. This was an ESPN game, too, as well. I know Golden State Warriors scored 2 points in an entire quarter in 2004. But this, I promise you, go back. Go back. This was worse. I don't know what to tell you other than the fact that the Trailblazers now we know for sure. I actually went back and listened to a podcast, Locked On Blazers, and the guy said after that game, he said this roster would not beat the 2018 Summer League roster that won the Summer League, that they would get absolutely destroyed by the Summer League team. You're talking about Anthony Simons as a rookie. You're talking about Gary Trent Jr. as a rookie. Like the rookies and like guys you've never heard of would beat this team. So all I can say to you is this. We have as much of an automatic fade as you can absolutely get in the NBA right now. There is no line big enough. There is no spread. Take them first quarter, fade them. Half, fade them. Full game, fade them. Probably under on their team total as well. Anything above 100 points, anything under 90 points, under. Anything over 90 points, under. Under, fade, 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 fade.